What if one planet in our solar system was violently attacked and never truly recovered from it? At first glance, the solar system looks orderly, predictable, balanced. Planets orbit in the same direction. Most spin with similar alignment. Earth tilts 23 degrees, Mars tilts 25. Even the massive gas giants spin with relative stability. But Uranus is different. It tilts 98 degrees, not slightly, not mildly. It lies almost completely on its side. It does not spin like Earth. It rolls through space like a barrel orbiting the sun. Something powerful enough to overpower a planet 14 times Earth's mass changed it forever. This is not a minor tilt. This is planetary trauma. We zoom into its silent blue surface, and here is why that tilt should not exist. The solar system formed from a rotating disk of gas and debris over 4.5 billion years ago. Everything formed from the same spinning disk, angular momentum in forced order. But Uranus defies that rule. It spins nearly perpendicular to its orbit. Something interrupted its formation. Something dramatic reshaped its destiny. Something interrupted its formation. Something dramatic reshaped its destiny. We freeze-frame this tilted giant against the grid of the orbital plane. At certain points in its orbit, one pole points almost directly at the sun. Imagine a world where the sun never sets for decades. This is the reality of Uranus, and that tilt changes everything. At the pole, the sun rises once, and then remains in the sky for 21 Earth years. 21 years of continuous daylight. Then 21 years of darkness. 42 years of extreme seasonal imbalance. You would expect violent storms. Instead, Uranus appears strangely subdued. Calm atmospheric bands drift slowly across the surface, hiding the chaos within. Because Uranus is cold, extremely cold. Most giant planets radiate internal heat. They glow with excess energy. Uranus does not. It appears dark in infrared comparison. Its upper atmosphere drops to around 49 Kelvin, the coldest planetary atmosphere in the solar system. It radiates almost no excess internal heat. It radiates almost no excess internal heat. It is as if its internal engine was silenced. We look deep into the core, searching for the heat that should be there. The prime suspect is a giant impact. An Earth-sized body may have struck Uranus billions of years ago. Not a direct hit. A glancing blow powerful enough to tip it over. Shock waves ripple through internal layers. It may have disrupted the interior, trapping heat beneath stratified layers. Surface left frozen and quiet. It may have disrupted the interior, trapping heat beneath stratified layers. Heat locked deep inside. Surface left frozen and quiet. A silenced engine. Camera glides past Miranda, Ariel, Umbriel. The moons are a mystery of their own, orbiting along a tilted equator that shouldn't be there. If the tilt happened late, their orbits would likely be chaotic, which suggests the moons formed after the tilt or were rebuilt from debris, a catastrophic restructuring. The collision did not just tilt a planet, it rewrote an entire system. Either scenario implies catastrophic restructuring, a world tilted almost beyond recognition, still orbiting faithfully. But maybe it was not one impact. Perhaps it was several smaller collisions over millions of years, each impact nudging the axis further, a slow fall instead of a knockout blow. Each impact nudging the axis further, a slow fall instead of a knockout blow, a prolonged era of planetary assault across deep time, a slow fall instead of a knockout blow, a prolonged era of planetary assault, a cosmic mugging across deep time. We fade into the deep blue shadow. As Uranus rotates, its magnetic poles sweep through space in a distorted pattern, tilted 59 degrees and offset from the planet's core. This suggests the field may originate in a shallow conductive layer rather than deep in the core. Tilted, cold, magnetically distorted, calm, but shaped by ancient violence. Beneath its atmosphere lies a dense mantle of superheated water, ammonia, and methane compressed under unimaginable pressure. Physics becomes alien here. Under millions of atmospheres of pressure, methane molecules begin to fracture. The chemical bonds break apart. Carbon atoms separate and rearrange. Carbon atoms rearrange into tightly packed crystalline structures. Those structures may become diamonds, falling slowly through the mantle like glittering rain in total darkness. In 1986, a lone visitor arrived. Voyager 2 became the only spacecraft ever to visit Uranus. It did not enter orbit. It performed a high-speed flyby. The encounter lasted only hours. Data streams pulse outward as the probe moves past quickly. The encounter lasted only a matter of hours. A single passing glance at a giant. The encounter lasted only a matter of hours. Probe shrinks into the distance. We are attempting to solve a 4-billion-year mystery from a single passing glance. Even its rings raise new questions. They are narrow, sharp-edged, rich in carbon compounds. Unlike Saturn's bright, icy rings, Uranus's rings are dark and subdued. They may be the remnants of a shattered moon, torn apart by gravitational stress, or fragments left over from the ancient impact, evidence of violence. Now compare Uranus to its twin, Neptune. Nearly identical in size, yet Neptune radiates strong internal heat and produces violent storms with winds reaching 2,000 kilometers per hour. Neptune produces violent storms and supersonic winds reaching over 2,000 kilometers per hour. A stark contrast to the quiet of Uranus. Worlds collided repeatedly as gravity sorted matter into planets. Massive protoplanets striking each other in a brutal dance of formation. Worlds collided repeatedly as gravity sorted matter into planets. Earth itself was struck by a Mars-sized body, forming our moon. A brutal era. Mercury may have been stripped of its outer layers by collision. Mars bears scars. Uranus survived, but survival came at a cost. A new mission may finally answer these questions. Scientists propose a Uranus orbiter and atmospheric probe. It would descend into the atmosphere and finally reveal the truth. It could map gravity anomalies and reveal hidden mass distribution. We could finally understand how its internal layers are arranged, truly seeing inside. For the first time in history, we would truly see inside this tilted world. A spacecraft entering stable orbit around Uranus to answer the ancient questions. If such an impact had struck Earth, our climate would collapse. Seasons would stretch into decades. Oceans might freeze. Life as we know it might never have emerged. Seasons would stretch into decades. Oceans might freeze. Weather patterns would destabilize. Ice spreads across continents in a frozen nightmare. Instead, Uranus bears that history alone in the outer darkness. A monument to cosmic violence and planetary resilience. Faithful in its tilt. A monument to cosmic violence and planetary resilience. If you could endure 21 years of night, would you go?